Hi, I'm sylviaworsham. Welcome to Focus Fridays and welcome to the segment on sales. Sales is that dirty little word, isn't it? The word that no one wants to talk about. Well, when you focus on sales, focus on the word connection. Because my belief is sales is about forming connections and relationships with others. What brought this up was this past week, and on all my social media sites, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have what's known as sales tips and traps Tuesdays and Thursdays. And it's something that I've seen people really struggling with. So I wanted to provide some value in this video relating to sales, especially during adverse times, because there was a time back in my formative years when I worked for Pfizer Pharmaceuticals. I was in pharmaceutical sales for many years, for almost 17 years, and most notably with Pfizer. And at the time in 2008 and 2009, when the financial showdown occurred, Pfizer was not immune to that. We were hit pretty hard. Our products at the hospital level were fairly expensive in comparison to our generic counterparts. And a lot of hospitals and a lot of entities that we worked with were trying to diminish their budget, and that meant that our products were going to get hit very hard. And so they brought in a motivational speaker to speak to us at the national sales meeting, and his name was Mike Lipkin. He was an international speaker and author, and he was dynamic. He was dynamo. And shortly after that meeting, what they started to notice, the trend, were a couple of us started to excel in our sales despite going through very adverse times. And so there were a group of us, 10 of us, I was one of them, that was selected by Mike Lipkin to be interviewed, and that interview was then shared with the rest of the nation in order to empower the entire sales team to get outside of their comfort zone and start to excel in sales as well. So here were the tips that we're going to share on this video in the hopes that these will help you during this pandemic. Number one is consistently and with integrity, keep your customers' needs up front and center. It's not about your sales goals. It's not about me making that sale for you. That's the trap that you'll fall into. And that's a trap that a lot of people have fallen into during this time. So their needs come first. Form that connection with them. And focus, the second strategy is to focus on what you can do. When Mike came and spoke at the national sales meeting, that was one of the main points he used with us. As a coach now, I'll tell you, and you've heard me say it time and time again about the law of focus. What you focus on, you find. What you focus on grows. What you focus on seems real, and ultimately what you focus on, you become. So if your thoughts, if your self-talk, if your physiology are focused on what you can't do, that's all you're going to find. Those are the circumstances you're going to find, because your unconscious mind will create those circumstances for you. It will bridge that gap for you. So behind every perceived challenge, there is an opportunity. And this pandemic is giving people the opportunity to see. But if your mind is stuck, it'll stay stuck there. Shift that mindset over, focus on what you can do. And third and final strategy that I shared with the nation and that I shared with Mike Lipkin was to stay very clear on your objective. When you reach out to people, be very clear of what you want to accomplish with that person. Are you wanting to further the connection? What is the objective? Because every time you have a conversation with someone, you want to follow up with them. It's not about closing the sale. It's just about following up with them, making sure that you've been listening to everything they've been saying to you, and you've been following up with them. Purpose is key here, guys. Okay, so again, let's go over the tips and traps that we've shared today. Number one tip: stay consistent in building your credibility with your customers by keeping their needs up front and center and your sales goals outside of the sphere of influence. Number one. Number two, focus on what you can do. Behind every perceived challenge, there is an opportunity. There's always a way, and having an attitude of there's always a way will help you immensely. And third and final tip is to stay very, very clear on your objective at hand. because sales is about knowing the direction, the vision that you want your business to grow in. And having that vision and having that target will help your mind close that gap with that new programming you're giving it. I'm Sylvia Worsham, your sales master trainer, keynote speaker, and empowerment coach. Thank you so much for tuning into this segment of Focus Fridays on sales, that dirty little word. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. I will see you next week. Bye now.